And now to the story of a little girl who touched our hearts here at Fox 2. Kathleen Edward was only 9. She fought bravely against a terrible illness, only to be taunted and bullied online by a nasty neighbor.
Sad news to bring you tonight. Kathleen has now lost her battle with Huntington's disease. Fox 2's Amy Lang here with the little girl's story. And Amy, our thoughts go out to Kathleen's family, of course.
And they are heartbroken, Monica and Huel. They've always known this day would come, yet it has still taken everyone by surprise. She took a turn for the worse a couple of days ago, but she was peaceful and smiling to the very end.
She was an angel. And she did bring a lot of joy and happiness to everybody.
Rebecca Rose was by her granddaughter's side as 9-year-old Kathleen Edward passed away peacefully Wednesday night at her home, surrounded by her family and friends.
We whispered in her ear and told her, "Go be with your mommy." She really did have this glow about her. She really looked like an angel laying there. And she opened her eyes and took her last breath.
Kathleen had Huntington's, a degenerative brain disease that also took the life of her mother and grandfather. We first met Kathleen in 2010 when she was the victim of cruel taunts on Facebook. Her grandmother's neighbor, Jennifer Petkoff, posted a picture of Kathleen with a skull and crossbones and a photo of her mother, Laura, in the arms of the Grim Reaper. When confronted, Petkoff was far from apologetic.
Personal satisfaction because it rubs their raw. Burns their because it burns Rebecca Rose raw for me to make fun of her dead daughter on that page.
That sounds sick.
Take it or leave it.
That story went viral, and the family was flooded with support for Kathleen. A trip to a toy store fit for a princess, a visit from the Detroit Tigers mascot, a huge festival to raise awareness about Huntington's disease, organized by family friend Michelle Yerrigan.
Kathleen taught us about Huntington's disease, and with everything that the family went through, I think that her legacy would be of hope. Our hearts are all broken, but we also know that she's not suffering anymore. And I think that Kathleen made us all better people.
Now Facebook, once a forum for a bully, then a site for support, is now full of sympathy and condolences for a family whose little angel is now in heaven.
But now she's with her mother. That's the only consolation in this whole thing, is now she's with her mother.
Becky Rose and Kathleen's father and stepmother want to thank everyone who has supported them through this ordeal. They're grateful that in Kathleen's short life, she taught so many people compassion and kindness. And the family is accepting donations to help with funeral and burial costs. If you'd like to help, you can donate directly to the funeral home.
And Amy, the case attracted so much attention, not only because of the cruelty of that neighbor, but because of the wonderful spirit of this little girl.
I think that's so true. I mean, you know, on one hand, no one should be, have to go through any of this. Not the cruel taunts, and certainly not a debilitating illness that is eventually going to take her life. And she's such a sweet child and such a fighter, and she always had that smile on her face. And I think you just couldn't help but really feel for her and fall in love with her and just want to see her keep going. And I think that the family feels to some extent they had her longer than they thought they would, but yet it was still a shock when she was gone.
It always is very, very hard to lose a child.
Absolutely.
We'll be thinking about them. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Visitation for Kathleen Edward will be held tomorrow at Michigan Memorial Funeral Home in Flat Rock. Funeral services will begin at noon on Saturday at Michigan Memorial, followed by a funeral procession to Mount Hope Cemetery, that's in Livonia, where Kathleen will be buried next to her mother. If you'd like to make a donation or send flowers, contact the funeral home. You can also make a donation to the Michigan chapter of Huntington's Disease Society of America. For a link to their website, visit myfoxdetroit.com.